Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to check out No Man's Sky Update 4.0. It actually introduces quite a lot of overhauls and changes. You've likely seen some of the notes before, but here they are in full action. We're going to check out the inventory changes. Yeah, these are actually the most significant I've seen so far. Some of you might like them, some of you might not, or at the very least, it will take some time for you to adjust to the new layout. I think this is a change for the better. It definitely adds a lot more slots than ever before, and as you can see, it's been pretty much completely changed for every single bit that we have, like the exosuit, starship, and multi-tool. And now it's split into two separate tabs you can see in one single window, including technology at the top and then the cargo at the bottom. I'm not going to lie, it's going to take a bit of time for me to get adjusted to this. You do have to scroll now here in your cargo to see the items at the bottom, especially with larger and larger inventories. But you do get a neat like filter or set of filters right here onto the left side. You can see pretty much raw materials or filtered by high value items, and even more so consumables, and finally installable tech to just highlight them and see them easier. Now, one of the major consequences of this kind of split for the inventory is the fact that we can no longer double stack the same number of technology upgrades into different types of inventories. So now if we were, for example, to take a life support upgrade, we could previously install 3 in the normal inventory and 3 in technology, so having up to 6, which would be a major boost. But now that's no longer possible, as upgrades can only be applied to the tech slot. So this is a slight nerf over there. The same applies to the starship. As you can see, I did have that previously and it carried over to the new update, so some of these technologies were overloaded and now I have to scrap them because I cannot double stack them any longer. It's kind of a bummer, but I guess for balancing reasons it kind of makes sense, and you're plenty OP as it is with just 3 of them without the double stacking. Now we're gonna talk about the inventory expansions in just a little bit, but in the meantime I do want to talk about the new catalog feature, and it's been slightly revamped. Now you have the journey milestones onto the left side and then the catalog entries and their categories onto the right side. If you go for the materials, technologies, collecting knowledge, building parts, and the recipes, you can see all of their respective windows and pretty much everything you've unlocked so far, with some neat animations and informations over there. But for these milestones, now they seem to be split into 2 categories: exploration and survival. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not seeing any new milestones in this case, just the same old ones but presented in a better screen, and they make a little bit more sense. There's also an option to pin them so you can more easily track them if you want to complete them and reach platinum. But one major change that I really enjoy over here is the addition of the difficulty settings, and by that I mean you can pretty much do this both from an existing save file and fine-tune it the way you want to, or right from the starting screen in a new save file. You can choose the custom option right here and just customize how you want your difficulty to be. Like, you have options on survival mechanisms, how much damage you get from certain elements, how much you need in order to repair certain items or upgrades, and pretty much this is the most extensive control I've seen so far over the full range of difficulty that makes up a difficulty preset. In this case, normal would be kind of in between at this point. You can also obviously go with the relaxed one, which was just added by the way, but you can also fine-tune that in a current setting, which I think is pretty awesome. Unfortunately, we aren't getting additional access to community expeditions that have already passed. It seems that they are still time limited, so I'm not really sure if that is intended or if it's just a slight oversight until they patch things up and whatnot. Another major quality of life is the fact that you can rename current save files by simply accessing the options menu, and now below the save data entries you can just rename them whatever you want to, like main save or main adventure. And if you perform a save from that point on after renaming them, if you go into the main selection screen, they will appear with the naming that you gave them. I think this is going to make things a lot easier for people with multiple save files like me, who like just get lost into them. And there's other neat informations beneath them, like the location you're at, name of the planet, solar system, if you're on a freighter or not, and so on and so forth. But let's talk about expanding inventories. As I've said, now your items can take up much larger inventories than ever before, so you can expand these way beyond previous capabilities. Not even sure how much, but it's gonna be quite costly. Now for your ship, this is gonna be pretty big because you can just go with a few billion at one of these like machines right here and just upgrade them as much as you want to. Obviously it's gonna cost like tens of millions, but you can also get a massive inventory so that you never have to worry about it anymore. My favorite by far in this category is definitely going to be the multi-tool expansion slot. So now you can go way beyond the like, I'm not even sure, like 24 slots that we had previously. Now you can just upgrade these at any space station and install the remaining upgrades that you might be missing. I think this removes slightly the need to change to different multi-tools, but yeah, you will probably still want to use different ones for their different bonuses, like maybe ones for collecting and others for damage or combat. Let's also talk about the relaxed mode. You can pretty much choose it right here. It's somewhere between creative and normal in terms of difficulty, as well as how much you need to do in there. So just right off the bat, I will say this: collecting resources is much easier on relaxed mode. Probably not as easy as creative, but you will get a lot more stacks from a simple mining tool. So if you hate that early on, you can just start with relaxed mode. You get more stacks out of that. You also get way less damage from environmental hazards. As you can see, in my case, my shield is low as you start with it at the beginning of the game, but it barely even depletes as I'm just mining my way through some of these resources. In terms of everything else, it's also way less costly to craft stuff and to fix technologies that are broken for your ship or for your other items. Definitely helps out a ton. And there's a lot more in there too that I have yet to fully make a list of, but there are a ton of quality of life changes and animation upgrades. Like, just check this one out for the Atlas stone that you get at the start of the game. I mean, that animation is pristine. And I've noticed a few more, like for example at the space station entries, there's added smoke and light effects, and also other improvements to how cool they look. And I'm gonna make a longer list of how these look, but so far I'm digging the update, and I think it's a much needed one to streamline everything that we've been doing so far throughout all of these years. Let me know down below what else you have discovered. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.